In the year of 2024, it was confirmed that the team behind the Netflix documentary series Life on Our Planet will be next working on a successor focusing on the rise and fall of the dinosaurs. On January 2026, it was revealed that the show will be airing during the first quarter of this year. But to me, this show came out of nowhere, honestly. A trailer was released on February 5th and my YouTube algorithm recommended it to me. I saw the Spinosaurus on the thumbnail, and the rest is history. The first episode is set during the Triassic period, the first of the 3 Mesozoic centuries. And that was already a big plus to me, since the Triassic is barely ever noticed in dinosaur media, even though it's just so cool. It's so outworldly with these old and new creatures meeting up. You know, during the Jurassic and the Cretaceous, the dinosaurs are the one dominant force on the planet. But still in the Triassic, the dinosaurs were actually more like bystanders, just waiting for the older reptiles to make place. Also, the really hot climate, the atmosphere is great, the dry deserts and these beautiful shores, and it's so beautifully captured in this episode. I love the Triassic and I'm so happy to have a full episode honored to it. But that alone doesn't make a great documentary about dinosaurs. So, did this episode actually deliver? I'm going through 5 major aspects that define a good dinosaur documentary to me. Beginning with storytelling, structure of the episode. We have like 3 different chapters because the episode wants to cover the entire Triassic period. But before, we have this prologue of like 5 minutes set at the end of the Cretaceous, which is honestly just there to not immediately start with the Triassic, because they well knew that could be leading to people that have no taste clicking away as soon as the episode even starts. They wanted to welcome us with more familiar faces, like Tricera and Tyranno, but the prologue itself was still good. And then the 3 chapters, early, middle and late Triassic. And with each time jump, we of course get a new cast of animals and a new protagonist. And that's the right word for the next topic. POVs. We have some dinosaurs more in focus and some more as sidekicks, which is, to me, actually, after thinking a lot, why I and so many people love Walking with Dinosaurs to this day. The key that's so forgotten. This made Walking with Dinosaurs so good, so connected to our memory and emotions. It does not just go from dino to dino, from animal to animal, but we have different roles, different characters. Like this, these dinosaurs become not only animals in a documentary, but characters to us. This documentary has that as well, but far less committed. And I think this is already a point where the show does a half good, half not so good job. These POVs do not really feel like actual protagonists, but just like bigger side characters. I really liked when the episode started with the Pachycephalosaurus as POV for the prologue. He had a nice little 5-minute arc, and then the Marsuchus baby for chapter 1. That worked, but then we had no time left for the last 2 to develop. So the Plateosaurus and the Liliensternus, they really had just 1 scene each. And we lost this protagonist feeling. The part with the Marsuchus worked. I really feel like we just needed more time for the next 2 chapters. And that's the next point. Pacing. I think this episode had great pacing overall. No scene dragged on, no scene rushed either. The only problem really is that it could have been just more. Or less. And then more time for 1 POV. To me it would have been really fine. Actually even better if we just spent more time in just 2 or even just 1 chapter instead of all 3. But really no scene gave you either the feeling that nothing happens or that too much happens in too little time. Well done. I've seen different, definitely. The plot. I mean the plot, what do you expect? It's just a documentary. You would think. But Walking with Dinosaurs teached us you can actually make a plot that catches the audience even in a nature documentary without making it unbelievable. Like there is, for example, Dinosaur Planet. You know, the one with the Velociraptors or the Pyroraptor, which had also a real plot, but was a little too fantasy-like. And here they go more the safe way. not leaning too much out the window, showing really basic stuff, rivalry, hunting, surviving, mating. The good thing, they did not really double on anything. It's not like Prehistoric Planet, where half the scenes are just about mating and it becomes really repetitive really quickly. There are some basic tropes for these dino shows, some basic plot twists that happen over and over in all these documentaries. Two I want to point out that annoyed me: the new Pachymail being ambushed for our protagonist to win the battle he couldn't win otherwise. I absolutely expected that. And I mean, from where the frick did this Rex come from? And when the Liliensternos sneaked onto the pterosaurs and the narrator said they only have eyes for each other, right now, nothing else, I immediately said to myself, he's going to kill the male, not the female, for sure. I really don't know why it always, when mating animals have to be attacked, always it has to be the male that gets punished, ambushed. The female is always fine. Do we really have to simp a freaking female pterosaur? Come on, be different. Don't just do what everyone does. That were two annoying plot twists to me. On the other side, there are also good ones. One example I want to point out. Again, I expected it. Again, I already saw this trope in my life, but it's cool. And I mean, I only expected it because I could cheat, because of knowledge. You know, when the narrator said that the Plagiosauruses have to look out for another dinosaur, I immediately was like, which dinosaur could be possibly dangerous to a Plagiosaurus that lived among him? Then he said Procompsognathus, and I immediately knew, okay, they want us to believe the Procompsognathus to be a threat, only to have a shot reveal the actual size difference. And it happened like that. But that's still a cool scene, and still likely an element of surprise to new viewers. You really see they put in the effort to use the effect of plot twists in this episode to catch your attention, to entertain you, and keep you onto it. You can see the influence of actual people that are from cinema, like Spielberg. And that brings me to my last point about the storytelling: tension building. I actually just talked about that, so let's just conclude. They knew how to build tension. They know what they're doing in the parts of storytelling. Even if it's not like outstandingly, but at least they have a vision in mind. Until now we talked about the show like a TV show or a movie, a story. Now let's talk about it looking at the opposite side of the coin. It's still a nature documentary. So, the science. Time travelers. Working with dinosaurs is to this day still the first dinosaur media that comes to mind for me when comparing documentaries, since it's really just the best overall. Of course, it's pretty inaccurate in a lot of stuff. It's over 20 years old by now. Our knowledge on dinosaurs made huge steps in those 20 years, but there's also stuff that was inaccurate already when it aired. And one of the most infamous to me is the meeting of dinosaurs and species that actually never seen each other. I understand that you might put some animals together that were strictly speaking probably 1 million years apart or something, because you want to show more different guys. But that show made some wild meetings sometimes. Weren't there even Utahraptors in Europe, if I remember correctly? What does this show do? Simple. I looked it up. The time and the locations of all shown animals, and let's just say it's kind of accurate. But not totally. For example, the Rhynchosaurus lived like 5 million years prior to the rest of the comrades in chapter 1, but the other 3, for example, actually lived together. And that's going through the entire episode. Some little, or at least smaller jumps here and there, considering that even 3 million years is actually more time than the whole time we humans even exist. There are some little inconsistencies here and there, but I've seen a lot worse. Still, in my opinion, shouldn't happen at all. You only show like 2 to 5 species in one chapter. It's not like you couldn't find any other species that actually live together. It's always sad when media creates an image in our imagination of some creatures being together when they actually weren't. Most infamous to me there is Spinosaurus and Ouranosaurus. Ouranosaurus is 10 million years older than Spino, also found in Niger, while Spino, until very recently, only at the north amongst Africa. Now with the new Spinosaurus mirabilis, actually also in Niger, so that's accurate, but still younger by millions of years. Still, we all think, if we don't know better, they coexisted because of media depicting it like this all the time. So that's a minus for me. Not really bad, can be much worse, but still shouldn't happen at all, and thus bearable, but still criticizable, which will be the case for a lot of the show actually, or at least this episode. I didn't watch the other 3 until now. Dinosaur accuracy. I'm no big intellectual on dinosaurs. I'm just a fanboy who read a lot when growing up about these amazing creatures, and I just still follow some updates on YouTube and on news articles. And as far as I can tell by my modest knowledge, they paid attention to accuracy of the dinosaurs. I can't really tell for every single species, since I didn't even know every single species before watching that was shown. I mean, what is a Luperosaurus and a Lyncosaurus? I didn't know these. I know Pastosuchus and Placerias, but these relatives, now I know them. And just by my impression, it was made sure that the dinosaurs are accurate. I mean, there will be some more and some less. The Tanystropheus is already a little infamous for looking weird, and I admit I was also confused, since that is not the animal I remembered, and the Liliensternus looked a bit too robust and bulky to me. I think he more looked like the stature I imagined for a Dilophosaurus, and I had always thought he was something more like between a Silophysis and a Dilophosaurus from stature wise, but I don't know, it's just what I thought. Probably they are correct and me not, but this is really nitpicky. The dinosaurs and animals overall seem to be made sure to be scientifically accurate, sometimes even too much. I'm talking about the Marsuchus and the Procompsognathus. I really do not like it when dinosaurs that have no clear evidence for having feathers are portrayed with feathers, only because it could be the case. That's to me too much with the I want to be accurate, I want to be modern, I want to be different. And I mean, if there's no evidence, stop making things up. Even if they make sense. Just show us the animal with or without feathers and let the narrator say, it could be that the ancestors of dinosaurs already had feathers, because this and that, but we don't know at the moment. Would be more professional to me to handle it like this, instead of just saying, it could be, so we make it to be. That's the other side of actually not being accurate, even though dino fans love this kind of wrong accuracy, because it's just a fact that there are dinosaurs that have evidence of having a feather coat, dinosaurs that are likely to have feather coats, dinosaurs that could have feather coats, and dinosaurs that are unlikely to have feather coats. And these Triassic dinosaurs really fit in category 2 or 3, likely or could have, but nothing of category 1 where we just say we know it for sure. So why depicting all of these like this? Made up scenarios. One of the things that really much annoyed me with the amongst dino fans so popular Prehistoric Planet is the behavior of dinosaurs that was just clearly made up, like mating rituals or hunting or species interactions. Prehistoric Planet even had scenes like the one where the Carnotauruses just changed the color on the bellies for impressing the other one. And I was like, okay, fine. Only because this could be the case, like there are so many other behaviors and scenarios from modern birds that could also apply. But you show this to me like it would be the case. You don't tell me that this is just some made up scenario that could possibly be. I would be fine with these scenes if they would tell the viewer that cannot differentiate, because they do not have enough knowledge about the topic, what is likely based on actual evidence and what is just made up because it could maybe be the case. Just say this is one possible scenario how they made, that's it. This show has much fewer of this, but still some. Like the scene where the Caviramus, at least this is what Google says this unnamed pterosaur is supposed to be, made their ritual, and Morgan Freeman then told us during so they only have eyes for the other right now. And I was like, where? Why? What? Could be, but could also not be. That was just plot convenience so that the Liliensternus can get one down. And it is also in this documentary never told, at least in this episode, if it's suggested by some findings or just by, could be the case. I think the one documentary that still made it the best to this day is Planet Dinosaur, which mostly only showed behavior suggested by actual material found and actually explained based on this found, and even literally every time still said that the material suggests this and that. That's really professional to me, no misleading. But it was not like in almost every scene, like in Prehistoric Planet, so more like here and there a little bit. So I'm mostly fine with this in the show, but it can be done better, like Planet Dinosaur did it. Narration for Newcomers. Good overall, they did something many forget. They re-mentioned the names of the species when they appear again, which is just necessary. No one that never heard of these names is gonna remember them by just one mentioning. I mean, it's always a beautiful memory if you remember some fella by name from a documentary. I mean, that was my start into dinosaurs as a 3-year-old watching Walking with Dinosaurs and remembering complicated names like Ornithocheirus. But while it's good that he mentions some animals multiple times, he just doesn't mention some at all. And that's bad. That's really bad. If a documentary doesn't even tell me what this croc or this pterosaur is. I mean, I see this fella and I immediately recognize as some Pastosuchus relative. But which? I don't know, until the narration tells me. It's important to tell all the species you actually show. It always seems weak if you have some sidekicks and it seems like you don't even know yourself what this actually is. I still think the random croc was just that, a random croc. Correct me in the comments if you know what that was. The dialogue is simple to follow. That's another plus to Newcomers. And for me especially interesting, it mostly tells the length of the animals. I hate it when they don't tell me the size. And I have to look it up myself after or in between. Many would probably proclaim size is not so important, but you just want to know what you are dealing with right now on the screen. For experts and nerds, I think the dialogue is okay-ish, really nothing outstanding, really not that deep. I still think the only documentary actually making something more professional in that direction was Planet Dinosaur, with the narrator, like I said, going in there saying that material was found, that suggests this, you know the process. The Narrator. I actually don't care for Morgan Freeman as narrator. I'm sorry, I think he's good for narrating, but not so legendary as many people say. I'm fine, but someone else would be fine to me as well. I don't care, but probably a plus to many others. Visuals. Atmosphere. Just simply great. The visuals are where the show really shines and where you really see that there's some actual big director of movies made for cinema involved. There are so many shots that are just so beautiful without being too much or seeming unrealistic. Style over substance? No, just right. And the different locations, the atmosphere of the desert, with the one little spider fellow walking alone through this big sand ocean, the shores with the Rhynchosaurus, and these wooden structures around it, the sun behind the Lilienstern's eyes when facing the Pastosuchus, the big Edmonton herd, surrounded by sauropods, Pachycephalosaurus, a Tyrannosaurus, while pterosaurs roam the sky. Beautiful shots, drag you so much in. By far the best modern world building for a Dino Doc. No modern Dino media. Really only Walking with Dinosaurs does this even better, and you can notice they actually most likely use the method of that show again. There are shots with real camera footage, the trees in some shots or clouds. I don't know actually, but they look like real footage to me. That's the way how they made Walking with Dinosaurs so special. It was all animated dinos in real life locations. If you didn't know, like even if a dinosaur walked into the river and the water splashed, they actually recorded that river, made something fall into that water so it would splash, and then they cut it out and instead made the animated dinosaur movement make the river splash. Like, that's still to this day really special. Shots. I kind of took that already away, but the way some shots are done is great. It never goes too far. There are so much different inspirations. There, for example, is this one classic chase run away shot with the Marsupial babies, but it's not too much that it drags me out. It's just about right. And that's the only shot like this in this episode. It doesn't abuse or reuse cinematic ideas. It's always something different. I really like the cinematography of this episode. Good work, and that's actually something that can enhance a project like this so much. Having actual cinematography without being too much. The dinosaurs, the designs. Now we get to the big win of the show. The dinosaurs visually look so good. I really see Steven Spielberg's hands here. I feel like he just knows how to show dinosaurs, that not only the freaks are like, ah yeah, this is accurate, but every normie will be like, this looks cool. And the great part, without making them inaccurate still. And I feel like, Jurassic Park, the original trilogy, not the Jurassic World, had so beautifully iconic designs for the dinosaurs. So aesthetic. In Jurassic World, all the newcomers looked soulless and bland to me. Like, I love Giganotosaurus, but JW3's Giga is just absolutely forgettable how it looks. But the original trilogy had so timeless designs. The Tyrannosaurus, the Velociraptors, the Parasaurolophus, the Brachiosaurus, the Stegosaurus, the Parky, the Pteranodon, the Spino from Jurassic Park 3. All these designs are so iconic to not only me, but to so many people. But of course, inaccurate mostly. But now, he's back, and he really nails the combination of being accurate and still making them look good. It's like he says, I want them to look as good as they can in the range of accuracy. To everyone, not only to nerds. And if you ask me personally, I know the dinosaurs from Prehistoric Planet are also accurate, but the dinosaurs in this show look so much better. And so many other dinosaur designers nowadays do not do that. I even feel like they want to make them look less good, only to make them look different and new, and to show off that they are accurate. And that's so stupid. The very best example is the Spinosaurus. Just look at modern depictions of him, and many people that once were a big fan of this dinosaur are disappointed and are like, what did he become? Without realizing, it's less the new discoveries that made Spino look worse and worse, and more the people that use these new updates in an ugly way only to impress in the way of, look how different he looks now. Look how this is accurate dinosaurs. I can just say it in all honesty, that's ugly. So many times that just looks ugly, what these modern dinosaur depiction guys are doing, and it's not even necessary. You can make good looking dinosaurs without making them inaccurate. The best example is 2014's bigger than T-Rex Spino. Except the head that is almost identical to Planet Dinosaurs, I guess it's just copy pasted. He looks so shitty, only to look different. The proportion of the body, the legs, and how he walks on his knuckles, and the new sail. And now just look at the Spino from this show. Not even the episode. I only saw him in the trailer. He was obviously not in this episode, but in the opening he was. Look at him. He looks beautiful. And is also scientifically completely accurate to modern standards. He has its new tail, new body composition, and still looks aesthetically beautiful. And Spielberg knew to not give him this ugly square sail that has no scientific evidence at all, just made up because it could also look like this. But it looks stupid and ugly, so why depicting it like this, if there isn't even evidence for it? The dinos have beautiful shapes and proportions, and the patterns on the backs, the colors, faces, all in the range of accuracy, even the feathers. And let's be real, no one except dino nerds like dinos with feathers more than without. That's just the truth. It's not that I hate them with feathers, they are fine with them if you make it look good. but they are even more beautiful without them, honestly. It depends. I accepted a Velociraptor with feathers, but if you want to force me a Dilophosaurus with feathers, that looks... Sorry, that's not it. But here, look at the Marsuchus. With feathers, still looks so beautiful. I'm so impressed how you can show me a dino that is not to be confirmed to actually have feathers, still with feathers, without me getting angry at it. Sound design. Animal sounds. Good, I guess. No old school mammal roars, but deep-pitched, quiet reptile noises or bird-like cheeping. That's what we want. That's realistic and does even sound better, honestly. I don't need my dinos to scream like tigers. Tigers, by the way, the iconic lion roar in movies is actually a tiger roar. Lions do not sound that manly. Music. It actually didn't stand out to me, like I barely paid attention to it. You see, OST has different levels. There's OST you immediately notice how great you think it is. There's OST that works, but you do not pay attention the first time watching. But when rewatching, you start to notice it. That means it's good and goes well in. Or there's OST you do not notice ever, except if you want to pay attention to it on purpose. That usually means it's neither bad or good. And there's OST you actually notice how you don't like it. It's probably unfitting or annoying or whatever is bad. Here I didn't notice. But it could very well be the second option, and I'm starting to notice it positively when I watch it again. Except for the one sad theme that played when the Rhynchosaurus died amongst all the already dead Rhynchosaurus. I was actually a little emotional for a non-speaking character I just met 10 minutes ago. Before coming to the final verdict, we have to real quick go over two major criteria for me that build up on the before talked criteria. The dinosaurs. Actually the animals, but saying the dinosaurs sounds cooler. We make it in order, so we have in the prologue first a Pachycephalosaurus, which I think is alright. I once really liked this dinosaur, but since his more modern reconstruction have this body proportions he also has here in the show, I like him less. I was used to when he actually just looked like an ornithopod, but with his famous head and shorter arms. And though the new design and more accurate look he has here has more unique character, like makes him more apart, it just is not so much for me. Like, I love all dinosaurs, but one of my least favorite, I still like them, is this whole Psittacosaurus-like family. You know, Pachycephalosaurus is another thing, but they're related. And these body structure, how the body looks of these dinosaurs from these families, not so mine compared to other dinosaurs. So I'm fine with the Pachy. I also don't like that every time this dinosaur is just cut down to fighting over being the alpha male. There was also on Prehistoric Planet, only because of his head. Be more creative with this dinosaur. Edmontosaurus. Really love how they look. The herd is so awesome. Really gives me the vibes of the look of ornithopod herds from early 2000s media. Like Disney's Dinosaur and Jurassic Park 3 with the Parasaurolophus plus Corythosaurus herd. I like that scene so much as a child. You don't know how often I put that VHS in, just skipped to the beginning of that scene, just watched it and then was done. Or skipped back again and rewatched it. Corythosaurus was just absolutely one of my favorite dinosaurs back then. It still is up there. This is really where I feel like I see the Steven Spielberg. Since these animals really remind me of his original look of the Parasaurolophus of Ep1. There are so many actually ugly modern depictions of ornithopods, where the body looks so bulky and has no shape anymore, no curves on the back, just again to look modern and different. And they decide to make them beautiful again. Big win. Sauropod, I don't know, Google didn't say to me which sauropod this is. It wasn't said, and other than the Triceratops, I mean, Triceratops was also not told, but it's obviously a Triceratops. But sauropod, whatever species specifically, I mean, they didn't play any role. They are obviously Titanosauria, considering it's the late Cretaceous, which are my least favorite sauropods. They're still fine, but the Brachiosauria and the Plodocchidae, they look even more beautiful. So the guy is fine again. We have fine extras in the background. Quetzalcoatlus, again, a small extra, but didn't look bad. Also not so much a favorite of mine. Yeah, you see, like, late Cretaceous is a lot where my less favorite dinosaurs are. I know he is really popular among the community, but almost like any other pterosaur actually I like more. Fine, this guy fine. Triceratops also appeared in one shot, I believe, and likely in the big shot. Looked okay. Tyrannosaurus, oh boy, he becomes bulkier and bulkier. How can anyone still like this dinosaur so much, as he is liked? He's still a phenomenon around the world, but look at him. I'm sorry, he's actually ugly. So bulky, it looks too much. Looks so stupid. I always thought Tyrannosaurus is overhyped all the time, but still he looked good. Like, he was still a really cool dinosaur, just overhyped because he's the most popular of them all. Only because of that overhyped, but like almost every dinosaur there is, you can make really cool designs of him, but like JP1 again, looks cool, but I prefer the more leaner Tyrannosaurus like Albertosaurus and his bros. And Tyranno, I mean, it's accurate again, but the change over time becoming so fat, it looks so menacingly, yeah, but it's just ugly. One of the ugliest dinosaurs I've ever seen, this depiction of Tyrannosaurus, but I know that this is actually the accurate course Tyrannosaurus is going right now, because Tyrannosaurus is getting fatter and fatter and looks worse and worse over time. Chapter 1 Dinos. Now, after the jump back to the Triassic, I first want to talk about the little desert spider-like animal. He's the GOAT. He's simply the best. Alright then. Rhynchosaurus. I mean, what do we expect? It's one of those Placeria-like animals. I don't even know if it's actually related to Placeria, but definitely something like that. The Placeria in Walking with Dinosaurs first episode were also the dumb-looking ones. They are cute. Let's put it this way. I like them. It's these kind of guys you do not like for looking beautiful, but more for looking cute and funny and being funny guys. So I like them, actually. Tanystropheus. I really like Tanystropheus. And I know him looking so weird annoys some. But for me, what actually annoys me even more, that he only appears as head with neck. I want to see the entire creature. Like, there's a few frames where you see the legs too, but you never see like a full shot of the creature. What's that? Yeah, that's disappointing. But really cool that he's in here in the first place. The Parasuchus. Smaller Postosuchus, I guess. I'm fine with him. Looks cool. Cool guy. I like Postosuchus. And the design of his head looks really cool. I've seen designs that do not look so nice, but this looks good. Marasuchus. You know how I was annoyed that they depicted these with feathers? Even though the feathers, he still looks beautiful. Nice work. One of my favorites of the episode. Only an L that the episode made it sound like he would be like the very first dinosaur, so he is not. He's one of the ancestors of dinosaurs. There was one line that then said that, but the rest sounded like he was the first dinosaur, especially the line where it sounded like she was the only single one of the species left on Earth, and she has to survive for dinosaurs even to come into existence. That was so stupid, sorry. I get that he actually just wanted to say dinosaurs are still not a dominant group and have to survive for some more million years to then come out on top, but just put the words a little different so that it doesn't sound so big, like she was actually the single only dino left on Earth. Phrynoxodon, he's, according to Google, also in this episode. I looked the animal up. It's a small mammal resembling reptile, some diapside or something. I don't remember him being part of the episode, but good boy. Chapter 2, Plateosaurus. looks incredible. Apparently this is the same design he already appeared with in Life on Our Planet. But I mean, it works. Accurate, good looking, cool color scheme, cool dinosaur, more of it. One of my favorites in the episode as well. Procomsognathus, that was a little disappointing to me. He also has feathers and doesn't look so good in that coat, honestly. I think he's a relative of Silophysis, so I hope for more there. Only appeared to be eaten, poor guy, with some random crocodilomorph or crocodile, I don't know what that was. Chapter 3, Pterosaur. Google says Caviramis, like I said. It also said Icrandraco, which makes no sense because this is a Cretaceous animal, whatever. Google. They look really cool, honestly, and said that they were just wasted for showing off a mating ritual and nothing else, and then just as prey. But I like them. I like these early pterosaurs with the long tails and being small. And the shot where they flew in masses over this canyon, beautiful. Liliensternus, so good. I love this dino. I love him here as well. Like I said, I envision him a little leaner, but I could be wrong. He only reminds me of the sad fact that I got no Silophysis. I really wanted my bro Silophysis, my second favorite dinosaur. Hey, but better no Silophysis than one with feathers in the worst scenario. Am I right? Yeah, I wish the Liliensternus, he looks great, but I wish he was a little bit leaner and probably didn't even have the crest, because I think the crest is only theorized. It's not like actual real evidence. And I mean, from the trailer I know that the Dilophosaurus will be part, most likely, of the beginning of the next episode. So why making the Liliensternus so Dilophosaurus-like looking, with making him bulkier and giving him a crest? I think this was actually the opportunity to make the opposite. Leaner, no crest, and then they would more differentiate. But yeah, he still looks great. Love this dinosaur. And another Pseudosuchia. Google says Postosuchus this time. I don't know, I guess so. Looks cool. And the show off of them both big meat-eating boys into the volcanic cataclysm was cool. Overall, the dinosaurs are really good. Really nailed to combine accuracy and beauty. And not only accuracy or cringe coolness, because that's the other side of the coin. There are also people designing dinosaurs not accurate, they give a shit about accuracy, to make them look good instead. And then they just give them thousands of spikes and shit, and it looks shitty. Nah, that's not it. Overall, my top 3 were, I'm gonna exclude the prologue dinos here because they're not part of Triassic, and it's a Triassic episode. Sorry, prologue dinos. Top 3, Marsuchus, Plateosaurus, Liliensternus. Really pleasant dinos, honestly. Really good. I hope that this documentary is going to influence the way dinosaurs are depicted in media from now on, because I really didn't like the direction many depictions go. Like I said, they go in a direction where they forgot to make dinosaurs look cool and beautiful and just wanted to make them look realistic, but you can make them look realistic and also make sure to make them look good. The second really important measurement is just plain and simple entertainment. And it's entertaining. Could be even more entertaining if it would ride on that theme of having a main dinosaur following him through the episode even more. But like this, it's still already damn entertaining. At least for a first watch. Let me just say, I always show these new Dino Docs to friends or family members. I would say, let's watch that together. And this one, for example, I knew my brother was entertained. Like, he didn't think it was incredibly good, but he was entertained. And I also forced him, like 4 years ago, when that was, to watch Prehistoric Planet. And he was bored. And I think this is really important to know that how a non-dinosaur fanboy reacts to these shows, because we are like too much in the bubble of what we focus on as dinosaur freaks. But probably such a show, I mean, it's not that deep scientifically most of the time. These shows should probably not only look at criteria that dinosaur nerds like. So I have to see how it stands to rewatch this episode in maybe a year or so. It has beautiful visuals and shots, the best modern dinosaur designs as a whole, like I said a lot during this review. Has its weak points, but in none of them is so much that it actually ruins anything to me. Overall, a mix of great stuff and alright stuff, and really nothing is terrible. And there is a lot that can be terrible on a dino documentary, trust me. Let's go over all the criteria of criticism again real quick. The storytelling, mid, alright, nothing really outstanding, but not bad. And mid is actually really good for the standards of dino documentaries, sadly, storytelling wise. There are so many things in other documentaries that are either stupid, meaning not convincing, you don't believe that shit, you don't believe dinos to do that, or just boring, like unfortunately one really popular dino doc from the last years, or even just killing the entire atmosphere. Like damn intermissions of paleontologists discovering bones. The science behind it is pretty solid, not like extraordinarily perfect, but solid, not too much is off. There are also some, or actually a lot, especially during the 2000s, that just gave a frick about that. Jurassic Fight Club the GOAT. The narration is fine overall. Nothing special, not like Walking with Dinosaurs. Walking with Dinosaurs, German narration. Incredible. All you non-German speakers, I pity you so much right now. The sound design is good, not outstanding though, but pretty solid, pretty good. The visuals is where the documentary really wins. The rest is all fine overall, and then the visuals and the dinos, the best modern depiction of dinosaurs and their world, really. And it's entertaining, not extraordinarily entertaining, but entertaining none the least, and that's the absolutely most important thing, honestly. An entertaining way to get a view, mostly accurate, into the beautiful world of dinosaurs. And I give this show, or this episode, since I only watched this episode, a solid 7 out of 10. That's really good for me. Actually, I would more like give a 6 out of 10 if I judge it on what I would envision as a really good documentary, but that's just more in my thoughts. But compared to the actual market, what is there out there, it's a 7. I mean, if the show continues like this, I would already say it's definitely up there in the top 5 Dino Docs. Walking with Dinosaurs, number 1, hard to beat. It just did, except for accuracy at many points. Everything's alright. Planet Dinosaur, number 2, had the best way of working with actual science to me, and just had really cool dinos and sceneries that they picked. I mean, it didn't even have a T-Rex. That's crazy. That's like the only documentary that goes over a lot of dinosaurs and don't have a T-Rex. And then if this now comes even better in the other 3 episodes, it could make its way up there to number 3, definitely. Dinosaur Planet is really cool and iconic to me as well. The story of Pod the Pyroraptor, who doesn't remember? But it went a little too far with the telling of a story. You know, take it completely. You can't take that completely serious anymore. When he rides on that tree over the ocean to this new island. But it was cool. Yeah, Walking with Dinosaurs did it best again. Actually telling a story without making it too unbelievable. But still nice, Dinosaur Planet as well. Prehistoric Planet, I have a really unpopular opinion, probably you already noticed. It's accurate, yes, but it makes so much up. Lively but non-evident scenarios and tells no story. We just jump from scene to scene and never see any dinosaur longer than like 5 minutes. It's really not that entertaining. I can watch it as a dinosaur fan, but I really see that some normie is not actually entertained by that show. And Walking with Dinosaurs 2025, let's not start with that. That was so mediocre. I dropped it after the first episode. I still regret it. I should at least watch the Spinosaurus episode. I always hear that it's by far the best, and I mean, I want to see Spino, I want to see every iteration of Spino, so at some point I will probably watch the other 4 episodes, but nah, that was not it. But this one here now, has actual potential for number 3 spot. It really should just spend even more time with one chapter, one dinosaur group, like only 2 chapters, so that would be only 1 time jump per episode, or just no time jump at all. Just give me only 4 groups of animals and all of them 45 minutes, I'm into it. Let me really come to know these animals in these 45 minutes. And that's it. Like, I criticized a lot more in this review, so obviously there is more that can be better, but this is the only thing that actually really is holding it back, that I want even more focus. It's already good direction, again, more focus on a POV and some animals instead of showing much, but go even more into that direction. That's the main criticism, and the rest can be better, but it's pretty fine as it is. Yeah, and the show would already been goated if that was the case. But like this, it's pretty good. I'm pretty convinced by the show already, and I'm really looking forward to watching the next 3 episodes and talk to you about that.